Have you ever wondered how fate can bring back the one person you swore you'd never see again, at the exact moment you're most vulnerable? Tonight, you're going to hear the story of a single mom who walked into the delivery room with nothing but pain, fear, and hope for her unborn child, only to discover that the doctor standing over her was her billionaire ex. And what he did next left everyone speechless. Emma's body trembled as she gripped the hospital bed, sweat pouring down her forehead. The contractions came sharper, closer, relentless. She had been holding herself together for months, working 2 jobs, fighting exhaustion, pretending she wasn't scared. But now that her baby was about to arrive, her strength was crumbling, alone. No partner to rub her back, no husband to whisper, "You can do this?" Just her mother waiting anxiously in the corridor and her own fragile courage. When the door opened, she barely lifted her tired eyes, expecting another nurse. But the moment his voice cut through the haze, steady, professional, calm, her heart nearly stopped. "Emma?" She blinked. That voice. No? It couldn't be. "Not here, not now." Standing in front of her, wearing a white coat, stethoscope around his neck, was Nathan Carter, the man she had once loved with every piece of her soul. The man who had shattered her heart 5 years ago when their worlds had torn apart. The billionaire heir who chose wealth, status, and ambition over the small-town girl who loved him. Emma gasped, her chest tightening more than the contraction. "You?" Nathan's eyes widened, disbelief and something softer flickering across them. For a second, his carefully built billionaire composure cracked. "You're my patient." She wanted to scream, to push him away, to demand another doctor. But another contraction ripped through her, stealing her breath, forcing her to grab the bed rails. She didn't have the luxury of pride or time. Nathan instinctively rushed to her side, holding her hand without asking. "Breathe, Emma. I've got you. I won't let anything happen to you or the baby." Tears blurred her vision. She hated that his touch still felt familiar, steady, safe. She hated that in her most desperate hour, it was him who showed up. The hours stretched into moments of pain and panic. Nathan guided her through each contraction with a gentleness she didn't remember from the man who had walked away years ago. Between pushes, memories rushed through her. How they used to dream of a family, how he promised forever, how he left without explanation. She had built her walls since then, but now, lying vulnerable under his care, pieces of those walls began to crack. When the baby's first cries finally filled the room, Emma sobbed with relief. The tiny life she had fought for, sacrificed for, was finally here. Nathan carefully placed the newborn in her arms, his hands trembling for the first time in years. "She's beautiful," he whispered, eyes misting. "Emma, you did it." Emma looked at her daughter's face, overwhelmed. For a moment, the world was still. Then Nathan's voice broke the silence again. "Emma, whose child is she?" The question hung heavy in the air. Emma's lips quivered. She could lie. She could tell him the father was gone, some stranger she'd never name. But something about the way Nathan looked at the baby, as though she was a miracle, made the truth claw its way out. "She's yours, Nathan." Too. His world collapsed and rebuilt in a single heartbeat. Nathan's knees nearly gave way. His child, his flesh and blood, the baby he never knew existed. Emma turned her face away, ashamed. "I didn't tell you because you made it clear when you left. You had your empire to build. I didn't fit into your world. I couldn't raise a baby in the shadow of your family's fortune. I chose to do it alone." And Nathan's jaw tightened, regret pouring into every word. "Emma, you don't know what really happened. I never stopped loving you. My father forced me to leave, threatened to destroy you, your family, if I didn't walk away. I thought I was protecting you. I thought I was doing the right thing." Emma's heart shattered all over again. Years of pain, sacrifice, loneliness, explained in a few sentences. She didn't know whether to scream or collapse in his arms. The days that followed were a blur of raw emotions. Nathan visited Emma and the baby every moment he could, bringing warmth, food, even quietly paying her hospital bills without telling her. He cradled his daughter, whispering promises that he would never abandon her. Emma watched, torn between resentment and the undeniable truth. Nathan loved the child. And maybe deep down, he had never stopped loving her too. But trust wasn't something that could be stitched overnight. Emma had carried too many burdens alone to simply hand them back to the man who once left her bleeding. She told him bluntly, "Love isn't about money, Nathan. It's about staying. If you want to be in her life, prove it. Not with wealth, with presence. Nathan listened. For once, the billionaire who always fixed things with money didn't argue. Instead, he showed up, every single day. He changed diapers, rocked his daughter to sleep, held Emma's hand during sleepless nights. Slowly, carefully, he built back the bridge he had burned. One evening, as Emma sat by the crib, watching her baby breathe peacefully, Nathan knelt beside her. No grand speeches, no flashy ring, just quiet, trembling words. "Emma, I don't just want to be her father, I want to be your partner again. Not the man who left, the man who stays. If you'll let me, I'll spend the rest of my life proving that." Tears welled in Emma's eyes. For the first time in years, she felt the weight of loneliness lifting. Maybe forgiveness wasn't easy. Maybe it would take time. But as she placed her baby girl into Nathan's arms, she realized something: love, when tested by pain and separation, can either die or come back stronger than ever. Sometimes, life has a way of bringing back the people we thought we'd lost forever, right when we need them most. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it can rewrite the future. Emma's story reminds us all that love isn't about perfection or wealth. It's about choosing to stay even when it's hard. And in the end, that's what makes a family whole.